What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Prince, aka the Truth Terrorist 2. Here to holler at you for a minute. And today, we're going to talk about alpha females one more time for the rodeo. One more time. This is the alpha female type 2. In video part 1, we talked about alpha female type 1. And I gave you a little rundown and got a little detail. But I don't want to leave in life, everything comes in twos. There's an old saying down south. You probably heard people say it everywhere. Ain't it funny like honey? Ain't it funny how honey ain't sweet like sugar? And what they're talking about is that, there's sweet, but there's honey sweet, then there's sugar sweet. Just food for thought. But we're going to talk about alpha female type 2 and various different definitions that often many women, Western women, get wrong. And one of them is being strong. Sometimes it's a hard characteristic for a female to be humble and strong. Now, here's the thing. You have a masculine ass woman whenever you have a woman who doesn't really want to submit to a man, because in my opinion, women in this country have their own choice. So you can get with whatever man that you want to get with. And the only reason that you really wouldn't have a relationship where a woman is more compliant with a man's dreams and desires, as long as he supports her and does his behalf, of what the man is supposed to do. The only way you wouldn't want to have that type of relationship is if you want to be a hoe. So the true alpha female knows how to be in alignment with her man. She knows that there's strength sometimes in her femininity and letting him have his way sometimes, as long as his way is not bankrupting them or damn near getting them killed. A real woman knows how to make a man, alpha female type 2 knows how to make a man feel like a man. Now, a man shouldn't have to rely on a woman to make him feel like a man, but she does not challenge him. There's a whole bunch of one-upsmanship from Western women that you see nowadays. A whole bunch of challenging and jumping all up in the faces of men, and many women always asking the question, why can't I do what a man do? And some women getting up in the face of a man screaming about the only difference between me and you is that you have a dick. Why should you lead this? Or why should you make this decision? Or why should you do this? Because you have a dick. As if the only difference between him and her is that he has a penis. So alpha female type 2, number 1, knows that a man is a man and that she is a woman. And she's not always challenging her man. She's not always trying to do the whole one-upsmanship. I can do it just as good as you. Even though everything that a woman claims that she can do better than a man, other than things that are by biological nature, a man basically has to enable her to do it. If a woman learns how to operate a backhoe, a big giant backhoe like what you see on a construction site, she probably took the classes to learn how to do it from a man. And then she'll claim the student is better than the teacher. Or as they say, like in the karate movies, the student has become the master, But this constant challenging of men and this one-upsmanship is beta female characteristics. And I'm going to talk about the beta woman in one more video before I shut it down for a while. But, this is alpha female type 2. And I'm going to talk about one more quality characteristic of alpha female type 2. And that is truly putting her children first and having confidence in herself, having confidence in her natural self. You get what I'm saying? She knows that the more makeup you cake on and the more weave you throw on your head, you're basically, your ass looks about like a drag queen. You're creating a completely false image. So nothing that you build with a man that you attract to you like that is real. Y'all whole foundation is false. You know, your whole foundation is falsehood. So the very second that, y'all get to sleeping and you get to getting pregnant, and the reality of you two pops out of, a female 9 months later, and it ain't gonna be no, child that look like it was born in India. It's gonna be a child that look like it was born in Nigeria or Jamaica or Georgia. But, and if the Negro is a self-hating coon who doesn't want to be with a woman that is his natural phenotype, then to hell with that Negro. Let him get his fat, nasty white woman. And why do some sisters sweat brothers with fat, nasty white women? He's a lost cause. He's gone. Let him be gone. Now, there are some professional brothers who do get with white women, but that's another story. But anyway, and as I was talking about, being a good mother, that's a good thing too. You see, the alpha female type 2 knows, especially if she has a boy, that she can't do what a man does. So she separates the drama that her and her kid's father might go through from the child. You see, the beta female, she ain't got no hips, she ain't got no booty, and she got a bad attitude. She's snappy, she's bitchy. I ain't necessarily saying all women are like that who ain't got no ass or no hips or whatever, but she's snappy and she's switchy. So she's got to use a baby, a child, as a negotiating chip in a relationship. She's got to ransom money from the baby daddy. She's got to blackmail the baby daddy or the child's father with the child. She has to threaten, you won't see your child again. This is beta female behavior. This is not alpha female type 2 behavior. Alpha female type 2 is a good mother. She's a good housewife, and she's a upstanding and active member in the community. She doesn't just get educated and start screaming about how educated she is. There was a brother did a video on YouTube last week, talked about what black men can learn from George Washington Carver. And, he was pointing out how this person noticed that George Washington Carver was smart and paid for him to go to an all-white college, Iowa. And, how he came back to the South and reinvented an entire economy with everything that he learned in botany, flowers and plants and trees and roots and soil. He revitalized the soil, taught the black farmers how to do that. And it was a matter of him using his education to enrich and empower other people. So the alpha female type 2 is active in her community, and she's active in uplifting members of her community, not just walking around with her Gucci bag and her overpriced Prada shoes or whatever, or Louis Vuitton shoes made by some Nigerian slaves in Milan, walking around thinking she is the queen of the Nile or something, But it is what it is. This is alpha female type 2, the mother, the housewife, and the woman, above all else, who got a good head on her shoulders and got her mind right. It's your boy Vince Rashad. I'm up out of here, man.